It's not looking like it'll be a happy new year for the world's fastest mammal. Despite the fact that cheetahs can run at speeds of 120 kilometers (75 miles) per hour, a new report suggests that they can't outrun extinction. Right now, there are just 7,100 of them left in the wild, down from around 100,000 around the year 1900. Their tendency to wander afar and bump into humans is meeting with predictably grim results. Writing in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, the authors point out that in some parts of the world, including Asia, cheetahs have already been wiped out. In Iran, there are now less than 50 left alive. As reported by BBC News, the population in Zimbabwe has fallen from 1,200 to around 170 in just 16 years. More than half of the world's wild cheetahs live across a handful of countries in southern Africa. Despite their enormous range and adaptability, hunting, poaching, illegal trafficking, and land use changes have driven the cheetah out of 91% of its historic natural range. Protected parks exist, but cheetahs almost never stick to these artificial boundaries. Regardless, about 77% of the cheetah's habitat still falls outside of protected areas. Right now, the International Union for Conservation of Nature (IUCN) lists Ocinonyx cubitus as vulnerable, but the authors of the report strongly advise they change this to the more serious endangered, which indicates that the cheetah is at a high risk of extinction in the wild. The encroachment of farming is leading to cheetahs coming into contact with humans far too often. Stanislav Bologlasov Shutterstock. The grim report was compiled by the Zoological Society of London, ZSL, Panthera and the Wildlife Conservation Society, WCS. Dr. Sarah Durant, a senior research fellow with ZSL, said in a statement that the secretive nature of this elusive cat meant it has been difficult to gather hard information on the species, leading to its plight being overlooked. Our findings show that the large space requirements for cheetah, coupled with the complex range of threats faced by the species in the wild, mean that it is likely to be much more vulnerable to extinction than was previously thought. The researchers suggest that a lot more cooperation between affected nations is required, as well as incentivizing local communities to protect the at-risk mammals. As ever, though, one of the most pervasive problems is the illegal pet trade. According to the Cheetah Conservation Fund, about 1,200 cheetah cubs were smuggled out of Africa over the last decade, but about 85% of them perished during the journey. Those that made it to their destination were unlikely to have been treated properly by their exotic animal collecting owners. Protective measures are being put in place to tackle trafficking, but at the current rate, it won't be long before the cheetah is just another strange extinct animal in a textbook. If you're interested in catching a mysterious fast radio burst, FRB, it appears that the best option is to look at the constellation of Auriga, the charioteer, where 17 FRBs have been detected from the same source. They were all emitted by a single source, and astronomers have reason to be excited as this is the only repeating FRB discovered earlier this year. And this unique find, named FRB 121102, has deepened the mystery of these phenomena. FRBs are an incredibly high-energy phenomenon. They are a quick flash of radio waves which last only for a few milliseconds. They were only discovered in 2011 and, since then, many explanations have been put forward to explain what remains without not explanation, including outlandish and improbable alien communication systems. Based on the intensity of the signal, scientists knew that the source must have had an extragalactic origin, and the speed at which they appear and disappear was an indication that they might have been a one-off event, maybe a collision between stars. But FRB 121102 has thrown a spanner in that line of thought. Our discovery of repeating bursts from FRB 121102 shows that for at least one source, the origin of the bursts cannot be cataclysmic, and further, must be able to repeat on short less than 1 minute timescales, the authors wrote in the paper, published in the Astrophysical Journal. Whether FRB 121102 is a unique object in the currently known sample of FRBs, or all FRBs are capable of repeating, its characterization is extremely important to understanding fast extragalactic radio transients. The international team of researchers suspects that the source is a young neutron star embedded in a dense cloud from either a star-forming region, like the Pillars of Creation, or a supernova remnant. There's very little we know about the source. We can't even establish a distance, since we are yet to find the galaxy that is hosting the source using visible light. There have been less than 20 different sources of FRBs, so nobody is really sure what we are seeing. But not knowing things in astronomy is half the fun. Scientists expect there are 10,000 FRBs emitted from every direction in the sky every day. We just need to have the telescope pointing in the right place at the right time. And finds like FRB 121102 are the ones that could finally help solve this cosmic puzzle. In the immortal words of Band-Aid, however you feel about the song, there won't be snow in Africa this Christmas time. Well, that's not strictly true. On December 19th, snow fell on the edge of the Sahara Desert, giving the red sandy dunes a pretty smattering of the white stuff for the first time in 37 years. The world was alerted to this event by amateur photographer Karim Bouchatotta, who posted his photos on Facebook, showing the snow covering the sand surrounding the Algerian town of Ain Sefra. Ain Sefra is located between the Atlas Mountains and the northern edge of the Sahara, around 1,000 meters (3,300 feet) above sea level, and is known as the gateway to the desert. Everyone was stunned to see snow falling in the desert. "It is such a rare occurrence," Mr. Bouchatotta said. "It looked amazing as the snow settled on the sand and made a great set of photos. The snow stayed for about a day and has now melted away." Of course, Africa does in fact have snow. Kilimanjaro in Tanzania is famously topped by a snowy cap, while in the Atlas Mountains just 72 kilometers (45 miles) from Marrakech, Ikemetin has the unlikely honor of being Africa's highest ski resort at 3,200 meters (10,500 feet). But seeing as the last recorded snow in the Sahara was 1979, it's still exciting. In fact, NASA's Earth Observatory has released a natural color photo of the snow in the desert from space. Taken by the enhanced thematic mapper plus on the Landsat 7 satellite, the image shows the snow on the ground near the Morocco-Algeria border, southwest of Ain Sefra. NASA has also revealed satellite images of the Saharan Atlas Range in December for the last 4 years, taken by their Aqua and Terra satellites, to demonstrate how unusual this event is. The false color images are rendered in infrared, shortwave infrared, and visible red wavelengths, with the snow showing as a bright blue-green. So if you're dreaming of a white Christmas this year, however unlikely, you might still get your wish. December observations in the Sahara for the last 4 years. Mottaz NASA.
Scientists say they have found a strange transition state in liquid water. The findings were published in the International Journal of Nanotechnology and led by Laura Maestro from the University of Oxford, UK. In their experiments, they found that when water was heated between 40 and 60 degrees centigrade, 104 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit, it hit a crossover temperature and switched between two different liquid states. Its various properties each had a different crossover temperature. Thermal conductivity was 64 degrees centigrade, 147 degrees Fahrenheit. Refractive index, how light travels through it, was 50 degrees centigrade, 122 degrees Fahrenheit. Surface tension was 57 degrees centigrade, 135 degrees Fahrenheit, and electrical conductivity was 53 degrees centigrade, 127 degrees Fahrenheit. The existence of these two states in liquid water plays an important role in nanometric and biological systems, the researchers wrote in their paper. Water, of course, has three states of matter between 0 and 100 degrees centigrade, 32 and 212 degrees Fahrenheit, solid, liquid, and gas. The higher the temperature, the more energetic the molecules, and thus the more chaotic they are. In the recent paper, the researchers measured several telltale physical properties of water at temperatures between 0 degrees centigrade and 100 degrees centigrade under normal atmospheric conditions, meaning the water was a liquid, the conversation noted. Surprisingly, they found a kink in properties such as the water's surface tension and its refractive index, a measure of how light travels through it, at around 50 degrees centigrade. Exactly what implications this will have isn't clear, but it further shows that there are many aspects of water we don't understand.